Hi guys! Okay, today I'm going to make a pumpkin pie, and I've actually never made pumpkin pie with making the crust myself, but I'm going to try this crust where you basically just put all the ingredients into your pan and mix it up and then press it into the pan. So not anything specifically, I don't know, stressful, getting it, rolling it out, making it perfect and all that. So I'm going to try that, and this is similar to a recipe I have for the pumpkin pie itself. Now the recipe that I have for this, it makes like a couple pumpkin pies. So, oh boy, I hope I can do this. Alright, this says to take 1 can of pumpkin puree. Oh gosh, I'm gonna probably make that like 1 cup. I'll figure out the conversion. But in any case, I'm not gonna use the eggs. And I'm going to use a little bit of tofu that I have here instead. And I'm going to see how this turns out, kind of just modifying this on the fly. Okay, before you get started, preheat your oven to 425. And what I have now in this pan is 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour, plus an additional 2 tablespoons of all-purpose flour, 2 teaspoons of white sugar, 1 teaspoon of salt, and you are supposed to mix these ingredients together before adding 2 tablespoons of, this says rice milk, but I'm putting soy milk, and 1/2 cup of canola oil. So you just want to distribute this evenly, make sure that this is mixed and incorporated well. This to me, if this works out, will be so much better than cold butter, cutting it this way, all that stuff. It just seems so labor intensive. So, okay. And then it says like put a hole in the center. Okay, so you take your 1/2 cup of oil, put it in the center, 2 tablespoons of the milk, and basically, I'll get that out of the way, you're just going to use the fork to mix it. You want to combine everything, and then you're going to take your hands and create a dough ball. Let's see how this works out. Okay, now that it's kind of forming, it's getting like sticky and hard, I'm going to transfer this to using my hands. Okay, so you can see now I have a dough ball that's formed. And now you're going to just basically press this down into the pan. Okay, so you just press, and eventually it will form like this. Now, it wasn't all 100% even, so the parts where there were not dough, I just like broke off from where there was excess, and then you just press it into where you needed to add some. So it's definitely an easier way to do this than rolling it all out on the counter. Hopefully I like it. Okay, so now you're going to put it in the oven, and I just want to check if it tells me that I should, when you put those little fork holes in there, crimp the edges of the crust. Okay. I heard somewhere where you should bake the crust for a little bit first, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to bake the crust at least for 10 minutes, guys, and then I'll get my other stuff together and I'll be back. Okay, so you're going to take 1/2 cup of white sugar, 1/4 cup of dark brown sugar, your 2 teaspoons cinnamon, 1/2 teaspoon salt, 1/2 teaspoon ground ginger, 1/4 teaspoon ground nutmeg, 1/4 teaspoon ground cloves, and you're going to mix that together in one bowl. Then you're going to mix your wet ingredients, and for that I'm going to use my Blend Tech. So I'm just going to get started putting in my dry ingredients into this bowl. Okay, it's been about 10 minutes, maybe 7 or so, and I took out the pie crust, and it's looking good. So I'm getting the rest of my ingredients together, going to mix it all up and get it in the pie crust. Okay, so I have my 1/2 cup of white sugar, it's beneath that, 1/4 cup dark brown, well, brown sugar, I didn't have the dark, That's my 2 teaspoons of cinnamon right there. That's a 1/4 teaspoon of cloves right there. That's my 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg, and that's my 1/2 teaspoon of ground ginger right there. Now, into the blend tech. Now I did check, and it's as I thought. About a 15-ounce can equals about 2 cups of pumpkin puree. Now, to make sure you watch my video on how to make your own pumpkin puree, as opposed to using the stuff from a can. However, if you want to get one 15-ounce can, you can use that instead. This might be just about 2 cups, but maybe perhaps a little bit extra. So dumping that into my blend tech. 2 tablespoons of canola oil. That's 1. That's 2. 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Okay, just dumping my vanilla right in there. And 1 1/4 cup rice milk it says, but I'm using soy. I'm using the Silk brand unsweetened soy milk. That's 1 cup. This is the 1/4 cup. Now it also calls for 2 eggs, 2 large eggs, and I am substituting tofu for eggs. Now this is about 1/3 of a pack of regular tofu. I would probably use soft if I had it. I don't have it, but it's going to blend up fine. So I'm putting this into the mixture, and then I'm going to blend this. This you need to mix together on its own and then combine them and then put it in the pan. Okay, I have the wet ingredients in my blend tech, and I'm just going to use the manual controls down here and start it low to mix it. Although I have a batter setting, but I'll still do this. Okay, that looks pretty beautifully mixed to me. And now all I'm going to do is, for the sake of making this easy, I hope that's not too pureed, but I'm going to just pour in my dry mixture into here. I know I did not use a blender before when I've made pumpkin pie, so I'm going to just do it low. That's looking good to me. And I think, if I'm not wrong, like last time, this is going to give me like a couple pies. So I'm going to pour this in here and see how this looks, and then put it in the oven. Bake it for 10 minutes on 425, then reduce to 350 and bake for about 40 to 50 minutes. And I know this is going to give me 2 pies. Okay, so I have enough for a second pie. Obviously I'm starting with this one. And I'll be back. Now if you saw my pureeing of the pumpkin recipe, then, or not recipe, but that video, then as you can see I just have a very little bit left. Since I have enough definitely for another pie in here, I'm just going to put this in here. It can't hurt to have that little bit of extra pumpkin puree added to this. And I'm going to make another pie. I'll keep this in the fridge for a few days, if that long, whenever I'm ready to make another pie. And then I'll have this batter completely ready. Alright, I always like to keep things in the oven longer, on the longer end as opposed to the shorter, so this was 50 minutes. And the recipe said it might seem a little jiggly, which it does, but it will set as it cools. So I probably have to wait a little bit before I cut this. Well, not probably, I do. This is my crust. I mean, if this turned out great, then I'm happy. I can make my own crust right in the pan. And I'm showing this to you right now, guys, but I'll be back in a little bit and cut this and sample it and see how this has turned out. Okay guys, so here it is, and it's been about 20 minutes, so I think it's cool enough. Time to test this. Definitely seems a little less jiggly. I hope it turns out well. My daughter's ready to have a piece. If the consistency isn't quite what I'd like, then I can always add more tofu next time. I also have an idea for how to make a flax egg. I'm going to share that in a video, which is kind of unique. I saw someone do this to make a meringue, and I thought, oh my god, that would be brilliant as an egg replacer. Okay, so that's what it looks like. Chloe, you want to try a piece?
No.
I mean, I guess it will firm up even more, but as of right now, it's pretty good.
Is this all mine?
Yeah.
Oh, thanks. I should probably like
Let's
not eat it
taste
with
it.
my hands.
Let's taste.
No, I want plastic.
Okay.
Plastic's cooler than metal.
We're gonna see if the that horrifying whipped cream. Is it good?
Tastes pretty good.
Good. So the taste is good. Like I said, I'll let this sit longer, and I mean, as it is, it's firm now. My crust looks a little bit thick, so maybe next time I can work at better thinning that out. But hey, it's the first time I've ever made a crust like that. Oops, I can't get this out. Okay, and we're going to taste. Very good. Delicious pumpkin pie, made without any egg, without any dairy. And the crust. What do you think of the crust, Chloe?
It's alright. But I've never been a big fan of crust.
Well, you can't have a pie without a crust.
Yes, I can.
No. Well, you could, I guess. Here you go. You can make a nice vegan pumpkin pie. I don't know if this annoying whipped cream will ever come out, but I'm going to try. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Okay, looks like I'm getting out some of this. Wow. There we go. Proper pumpkin pie now. Okay, guys. Thanks for watching.